On today's episode of Life in Rural Japan, I'd like to talk about how Japanese people show or don't show affection. So like, I grew up in Australia, and like as a kid, if I went around to the grandparents' house, you know, grandmother would always give you a hug and a kiss and that, and same when you left and that. And then when I got older and moved out of home and you go around home, you know, mother would always, you know, give you a hug when you turned up and, you know, a hug when you left and that sort of thing. But I've been in Japan for 28 years. I have never ever seen my mother-in-law hug my wife. Never seen it happen. Actually, I can't even remember seeing her hug the grandkids. Now, this isn't, you know, like, not everyone's the same. Like, I know my wife's aunt, she does, I think, do with her grandkids and that. And I know with birthdays, she knows all the kids' birthdays, their husbands and wives, her grandkids, she knows them all, and she sends them like a card and a gift voucher or something like that. She does something for them. I've never ever seen my mother-in-law give my wife anything for her birthday, or even come up and say happy birthday on a birthday. And all the kids, you know, it's just like I don't know, she just doesn't seem to register that as being important. So just different. And like in Japan, a lot of men, they have their own room. So when they're at home, they just spend their time in their own room, and then they'll come out and have dinner or whatever, or breakfast, and then they'll go back to their room. They spend all their time in their room, which is really funny. They don't spend time with the family. Like me, I do have my own room, but I've got computers up in there and I use it for editing video or teaching online. I've got some students I teach online, so I use the computers for that, and making things for classes and that sort of thing. I use computers, so I use that room then. But if I'm not doing something in the room, I'm in the living room, you know, and I spend time with the family. But in Japan, they don't tend to do that. A lot, not all, but a lot of fathers just sort of spend time by themselves. I was talking with one of my students last night online, and she was telling me she passed, she did a TOEIC test. So she got 850 on a TOEIC test, which is a really good score. She's only 22, and that's a really good score. She told her father, and when he was home on the weekend, he works over in Tokyo, so he lives over there, and he comes home every 2 weeks. He comes home on the weekend. And she told him, and he just sort of said nothing and just went up to his room, which, you know, he didn't say, oh, that's really good or anything. He just sort of like ignored her. And then this Sunday, she's got a big test. She wants to do a government job. So to get a government job in Japan, they have to do a big test. The test starts at 9 o'clock or 9:30 in the morning and finishes at 5:30 or 6 o'clock at night. It's a really big day. They have so many tests they have to do. And on Monday, he went back to Tokyo, and her mother said, oh, what did your father say about your test? She said nothing. He didn't say anything. So the mother was really angry about it. So I think the father got a bit of a tongue lashing over that. But this is very normal. I'm pretty sure my brother-in-law, he's got his own room upstairs. He's a graphic designer and that, so he's got a computer up there, so he does a lot of work up there. But I think he spends most of his time up there. I think he only really comes downstairs to have meals, and then he's up there. He probably watches movies or whatever, you know. I think he spends most of his time in his room by himself. So this is a very common thing in Japan. A lot of they don't tend to show affection to each other. Some do. I'm not saying everyone. Like high school girls and university girls, you'll see them hugging each other and that when they meet. It's just, yeah. But like for families don't tend to share any emotions or any feelings towards each other. It's sort of very cold sort of thing, I've found. So yeah, it's a funny topic. It is a funny topic, and it's a bit hard sometimes to get my head around it, you know, like, you know, why you wouldn't wish your daughter, you know, good luck with the test, or, you know, congratulations on getting such a good score on your TOEIC test. You know, it just, I don't know, I just can't fathom it. And it's not unheard of, you know, this is sort of happens a fair bit. Sort of men tend to keep to themselves, you know, when they're at home. So I really don't know. So I'm not saying it's 100% of Japanese people, but it's pretty widespread. It is pretty widespread. You know, I know my wife's aunt, her husband, you know, he used to spend a lot of time in his room. He had his TV in there, and he would spend his time in there watching TV and that sort of thing by himself. Yeah, so I really don't understand it, but anyway, that's just a quick video on that, and just to see if anyone's got any thoughts on it. So if you've got any ideas or any comments, please leave them below, and I hope you enjoyed this. It's just a short video, and I've been here a long time, but it still sort of shocks me a bit on how, yeah, on how people don't really show emotion, especially family members, you know, like you'd think family would be very supportive and different things, but yeah, it can be very different. Oh, well, that's all for today. I hope you enjoy it. Anyway, till next time, that's all for now.